Hey guys, and welcome to my crash course for Beast Mastery Hunter. In this guide slash crash course we will be covering stats, traits, essences, rotation, and talents. So starting off with stats. Your stat rotation is kind of like this. This goes in most important order from least important order. First you want crit, second you want versatility, third you want haste, fourth you want mastery. However, most of these stats are very close to each other when it comes to buffing your DPS, so usually the general guideline that I take, and the thing I do on all of my tunes, is to not overthink it and just take the highest item level upgrade, unless you have two things that are the same item level, and then you pay attention to the secondary stat. Talking about traits, you generally want traits that give you a primary stat or a secondary stat. This is Primal Instincts, which gives you mastery, and your mastery obviously buffs the damage of your pets. This will apply to your actual pet itself and your murder of crows / dire beast pets as well. If you can't get the mastery trait, you do want Haze of Rage, which just grants your bestial wrath and agility buff for you. And then if you can't even get that one, you can take this one, which grants your barb shot a chance to give you agility. When it comes to this ring / the third ring, or the still a DPS buff but not a healing ring trait ring, you take Overwhelming Power. Overwhelming Power is generally the best for any DPS spec in the game. If you can't take Overwhelming Power, personally I like taking Elemental Whirl. If you can't take Elemental Whirl, you want the Fire one that just gives you crit chance that stacks up to 5 times. For the healing ring, I always take this one if you can, because it just, whenever you take damage, you heal. If you can't get that one, you generally don't want to take anything that, whenever someone dies, you don't want to take those because you're not really killing anyone in arena. It can be good for Battlegrounds, but most times it's just more arena / battleground oriented, so generally you just want the passive heals ones. So let's talk about talents now. Talents, Killer Instincts pretty much gives your kill command a kind of execute effect, so this is really good in arena and Battlegrounds. For here, a lot of high rated hunters take Chimera Shot. I should take Chimera Shot in Battlegrounds and Arena, but I just have a horrible habit of liking one with the pack because I don't like my barb shot stacks falling off, so that's why I take this. For the 45 row, Natural Mending's usually your go-to here. You don't really switch out of that much. For the 60 row, you always go into Murder of Crows. For the 75 row, Post Haste, just because I like the movement speed. If you think you need Binding Shot for a melee heavy team, then go for it though. For the 90 row, Stomp is the go-to here as well. Just makes your pet do extra damage and Stomp whenever you do use a barb shot. It did about 3,000 damage there. Be wary of Stomp whenever you trap someone or a healer is in crowd control, because if the DPS knows what they're doing and they see your pet on you and they know you're taking Stomp, if your pet stomps near someone who is crowd controlled, it will break it. However, every talent in this row is kind of an AoE spell and is bound to break a CC. For the 100 row, I take Aspect of the Beast just because I like the pet damage increase. Killer Cobra can be good, because if you are using it while someone is in execute range with Bestial Wrath, they're pretty much just bound to die. It's just having an execute on spam for the most part. And then we don't talk about Spitting Cobra. For honor talents, there's a few things that should be mentioned here. If you think you're going to be taking a lot of damage and you can actually control your pet a decent bit, Wild Protector isn't that bad. Beast Within is very good for Warlocks if you think you can get this off before they fear you. However, if they're not going to fear you a lot, this is kind of a waste of a talent. Survival Tactics will remove all harmful magical effects and reduce damage taken by 99%. If you do use this in the right moment of a Greater Pyro, a Chaos Bolt, when you have a ton of dots on with a Boomy Shadow Priest team, it can be really good as well. If you want the passive magic damage reduction from Dragon Scale Armor, it's also a good choice. Viper Sting will reduce the healing a healer does on their target by 30% for 6 seconds. This can stack very well with your Devil Sword debuff and is very good when you are anticipating healers getting a big heal, such as when a Druid heal applies all their hots and then tries to get a Soul to Forest regrowth. If you use this before they apply all their hots, it will reduce the effectiveness of their heals quite a bit. Spider Sting, pretty good for any caster, really just silences them for 4 seconds, but the cooldown on it really doesn't make it worth it, and I think the value from Viper Sting is a lot better. Scorpid Sting's just, I haven't used it ever, so I don't think I really have any right to talk about it, but it wouldn't be bad against rogues to prevent their critical strike chance. The go-tos, for me personally, if you do Arena / Battlegrounds, Roar of Sacrifice pretty much makes your pet take a little bit more damage and makes the target you use this on immune to critical strikes, so this is really good against anyone who crits a lot, like Fury Warriors, a Fire Mage who uses Combustion, a Rogue, kind of that general gist. Personally, my favorites are Dire Beast Hawk and Dire Beast Basilisk. The Hawk doesn't really do that much damage anymore. It does about, I believe, like 3,000 damage whenever you use it, but good for Battlegrounds, not so much Arena. It is good for Arena if you were trying to get a rogue out of stealth, though. Dire Beast Basilisk, I just like this ability a lot. I don't know why. I've been using it since Legion, I just haven't spec'd out of it. I really like it. You summon a Dire Beast Basilisk, it moves like a fucking turtle, though, but once it reaches the target, it chunks the target for a decent amount. And then this will be buffed by your mastery if you use your mastery. You see I used this and my mastery went up, and now it's critting for about 20,000. But if you use this pet and you do stun them while the Dire Beast is on them, you can get a decent stun window with a lot of Dire Beast Basilisk damage, which is the main reason I take this. If you don't want to take Dire Beast Basilisk, I would suggest you just take Roar of Sacrifice and Dire Beast Hawk. An example arena build would probably be Viper Sting, Roar of Sacrifice, and then probably Survival Instincts or Survival Tactics, depending on what their team comp is like. So talking about Spirit Beasts again. Your Devil Sword has a healing reduction. That's the only reason you really use it. If you don't want the healing reduction on your Devil Sword, then you use your Dire Beast, not Dire Beast, your Spirit Beast. Your Spirit Beast has a purge effect, which can purge Enrages and Blessing Protections and Druid Heal over time effects. And then it also has a healing on you. Heals for about 20,000 initially, and then 14,000 every 2 seconds for 10 seconds, which is very overlooked in my opinion. Getting into the rotation of Beast Mastery is nothing very complex. It's pretty much kill command and Cobra Shot, and then maintaining Barb Shot. So, the example rotation here would just be kill command on cooldown, Cobra Shot whenever you can. Whenever you have 2 shots of Barb Shot, you just want to use that because you always want it to be on cooldown. This is it. This is the Beast Mastery rotation. It's very, very hard. It's very hard to master. You see, my brain can't comprehend maintaining Barb Shot, so that's why it fell off there. But this is it. Just Barb Shot and kill command. It's very simple. I enjoy it. Doesn't take a lot of brain power. And it's very effective in Battlegrounds and Arena. The burst is a little bit more complex, even though it's the same fucking thing. Kill command and Cobra Shot, and then in between that you want to use Murder of Crows, and then if you are using Dire Beast, you want to kind of bait someone towards the Dire Beast and then try to stun them with Intimidation near it, so they stay within it. You'll see there I used Intimidation while the Dire Beast was near it. I'm going to use Barb Shot to get my stacks kind of charging again. We'll throw Murder of Crows, use my Aspect of the Wild, throw another Barb Shot, and this is it. That's the burst right there. It's pretty simple. You can use your Azurite Essence if you really want. I always forget to use that on any tune that I play, though, so feel free to yell at me for that. And that's it. Just Barb Shot and kill command. Stun them when your Dire Beast is near. Then you can always, if you are using Arena, a neat thing with Intimidation is it will make your pet charge the target. And if your pet charges a target and intimidates, if you wait for Intimidate to be close to ending, you can trap off of it, which adds about a 10-second CC on the target, which is pretty overlooked as well. Other than that, that's it. I really think Beast Mastery is one of the more fun specs. It's one of my favorite specs in the game. It's been my favorite spec in the game for quite some time now. So things you might forget while you're playing Beast Mastery. You can feign death, Chaos Bolts, Greater Pyros, and then if you use it in the correct window, Survival Instincts, Survival Tactics, you will reduce the damage you take by 99%, which is really good against Greater Powers and Chaos Bolts, like I mentioned. Don't forget the Purge Bop. Purging Bop can just fuck over healers so much. I've done it on Holy Pallies a lot, and I can tell they just always think to themselves, what removed Blessing Protection from me? It's always the Spirit Beast. If you aren't removing Blessing Protection, or you don't think you need the Purge/heal from your Spirit Beast, I would suggest using the healing reduction from your Devil Sword. I think that's about it, guys. That is all you really need to know about Beast Mastery. It's one of the most simple specs in the game, and that's why I like it. Just remember to kill command and Cobra Shot, use Bestial Wrath on cooldown, have that Barb Shot going on cooldown most times. Then your burst is literally Bestial Wrath, Aspect of the Wild, Murder of Crows, and then just spam kill command as much as you can. Thank you guys for watching. Follow Twitch, follow Twitter, both of it's in the description below. Click the bell thing, like the video, all of that jazz. As always, guys, thank you, and until next time.